Linea rock. This is Fieldy from Korn. Keep listening.
It's a pleasure to be here today with Fieldy. Welcome to Italy, first of all.
Thank you.
Okay, so your 10th studio album, The Path of Totality, is completely groundbreaking. I know it's been said many times, so I won't ask you what brought you to the decision of melting dubstep with metal, but I wanted to ask you, I know Jonathan, for example, has been a long-time fan of dubstep, so have you been listening to bass music before?
I never heard it ever until John actually played it for me. I didn't know anything about it. It was new to me. And I just thought it was really cool, all the sounds and the things it was doing and how they can take bass and you can make it move and wobble and like all these cool things that I thought I was like, wow, that's pretty cool.
So it was completely new, so he didn't have to kind of convince you to merge metal with dubstep, because you immediately loved it, right?
Yeah, it wasn't. It just seemed like it just went together. It wasn't something forced.
I see. That's great. I read an article calling it future metal and possibly the most well-proportioned Korn album of all time. Would you agree with these definitions?
I mean, every record that we've ever put out, you always are not satisfied. You want to do another one. I think if we're ever satisfied, then we'll be like, we're done. Every record, you're just like, I wish I would have did this, I wish I would have did that, and that's just what it always is for artists. So yeah, we always just wish we could have did better.
But you're quite happy about this one. I mean, I think it's brilliant.
Well, thank you.
And is it true that it was actually born as an EP?
It was. We weren't sure, because it was this this new thing, that if it would work as a full-length album, so we had to keep sampling and working on songs and it just seemed to be coming natural, so we're like, we got to do a full-length album, and that's how that worked.
And you've collaborated with many dubstep producers, so how was collaborating with these people that have such a different style, maybe a different recording style, different producing style?
It was hard to choose from. There's so many, that you have to just sit and listen and see what inspires. There's so much talent out there that it was just, it's hard, It's one of those things where you just, apples and oranges.
So what made you opt for these ones, like Downlink, Skrillex, Feed Me 12 Planet?
They just seemed to inspire at the time, And that can be, it's really, music is strange because every day can be different. Like, one day someone, you can get inspired, but the next day you're like, oh, it's not, I can't even write to this song. So it's art is weird, when you're writing. It's weird. You can't explain.
And I know you've been merging digital and analog, so how did you incorporate your own bass line, or for example raised drumming, with the digital sounds?
We did something that, we had to do a little tricky so we could kind of keep it to sound rock or metal or whatever you want to call it. So we did run analog, which is so you're making it real, through a big mixing board and playing real instruments, because most of the time it's like keyboard bass. And,
yeah.
So it was me playing bass and the real instruments, because a lot of times too, even the guitars are on keyboards, and it's like we did it as a band.
So like you kept your own riffs and then merged them with other computer done riffs, kind of
like the dubstep would be like a skeleton of some weird sounds and things, and we would hear it, and sometimes we'd have to change it around to fit the structure of a song, because most dubstep artists are not writing songs, they're just up there rocking, they're just making sounds and rocking. There's not a structure of a verse and a chorus so sometimes we have to take an area and be like, oh, this is a verse, and move it, you can move it on the computer and move it over and say, well, this is a chorus, let's make it a verse, and you move it around and you organize it. That way you're able to lay down the foundation of a song.
And since Skrillex comes from a screamo band, was it maybe easier to work with him for the structure of the songs, like you were saying?
It was easier because he's been in a few bands, so he kind of understands the structure of writing songs, and it was a little easier. But then again, it all depends on when Jonathan gets down on a verse and he needs it a little longer. Well, you just extend it longer. Everything's on the computer these days. You can just make it longer or shorter.
Yeah, it can be changed and redone several times.
It's like pretty much like if visually, if you guys had to see a verse is this long on a computer, and you wanted to make it double that length, you take that and it stays there, and you pull it down and you put it up right here, and you connect it like a puzzle, and it makes it longer. And if you get longer, you need shorter. Copy and paste is what they call it.
And do you know what kind of software they use? I know, for example, Skrillex uses Melodyne in Ableton Live. Do you know what kind of VST they used, or?
Yeah, we use those. I mean, everything and anything, and then all the way to running it back when it's done, running it through the analog board and getting the real sound, and I think it was open for everything because all those have certain perks.
And I wanted to ask you about the track Illuminati. Illuminati is an Italian word, so how come this title?
I didn't write the lyrics. Yeah, that's Jonathan about that one.
I see. And tell me about this particular DVD, Korn Live The Encounter, that you included in the special edition.
That's something that you should really get the special edition, because we put so much work into this. We played in the middle of this crop field, and you can actually, if you Google, I don't know what it is here, but we Google Earth, and it gives you a view from space, and you can see the corn from space. That's how big that they put the crop circles. So they smashed down the wheat, and it spelled out corn. It was huge. And then we played in the middle of a field, and it was complete vibe and feeling and freestyle. And it turned out amazing.
And Datsik, Downlink, and Jim Monty contributed to the mixing process. Does Downlink open all of your concerts, or do they actually kind of rotate in a way?
They have been rotating. I think that Downlink just got here today. First time. He's going to be here tonight. They rotate. For example, even when we played one in Hollywood at the Palladium, and Skrillex was there, and he said he didn't want to do all that. He goes, I want to play guitar. So he came out and played guitar on 2 songs with us, which was cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so it's like, you never know what's going to happen.
Sure. And about your brand new single, Way Too Far, featuring 12 Planet and Flinch, how did that great song come together?
That's just, it's one of those songs that just, I like the dynamics in it, because of the verses they feel like they're really heavy, but they're small, and then this massive, heavy, big chorus comes in, and it's real extreme. It's probably the most extreme I've heard to keep a verse, because a lot of times people go into a verse where it's quiet, and it's like like just quiet, but the verses are heavy, but then it gets massive, this massive bass and just big, huge chorus, and it was pulled off pretty well.
Well, so thank you very much, and have a great show tonight.
All right, thank you.